I don't know if this is gonna go through. I hope it does. I hope this gets through. If I don't make it out of this, Brooke, I need you to know that I love you. I love you more than anything. And I can't stand the thought of you waking up tomorrow and thinking I just left you behind. If I don't make it, I hope you'll know where to look and you'll know that I love you. I don't see him right now. Maybe that means I'll be okay. No, I should know better than that. Everywhere I go, he's there. Just ahead. I keep expecting to look up and see him standing underneath the streetlight or to see his shadow in the fog. Maybe he won't approach the car. I never saw him moving much before. But I never stopped to get a good look either. Maybe I'll be okay. Maybe. Okay, let's dial it back here. Let's start at the beginning. My name is Darren. And last I knew, I was off Highway 24 just outside of Paris, Ontario. I think I'm still close to there. I took a few turns, so I'm not entirely sure anymore. The map app on my phone isn't working right now, but I can't be that far away. I've had insomnia ever since I was a kid. Back then, I just never wanted to go to bed. Nowadays, I just can't get my brain to shut off sometimes. Sometimes I'm thinking about work, sometimes it's just anxiety, and sometimes I just feel like I didn't do enough during the day. Sometimes it's just straight up existential terror, induced by pondering the mysteries of the universe that you never seem to think about until you're trying to sleep. When it gets like that, I find that going for a drive helps. It gives me something to focus on, and it grounds me for a bit. I like that. For a couple of hours, it's just me on the road. Usually, I'll listen to podcasts while I drive. Horror podcasts are my favorite. I got a list of recommendations a mile long. Some people act like I'm weird for listening to scary stories while I drive through the darkened back roads. Personally, I just find it calming, and it helps me get more into the stories. I've been going for a lot of nighttime drives lately. Working from home and being cooped up doesn't really work for me. I never used to love my commute, but I find myself missing it more and more lately, you know? Anyway, tonight I couldn't sleep, and that was nothing new. There was nothing specific on my mind. I guess I just felt restless, and the idea of going out and driving along the back roads and listening to a couple of podcast episodes sounded appealing. My girlfriend Brooke was already in bed. She doesn't have quite the same problem nodding off that I do. Between the two of us, I'm the night owl. She knows about my late night drives. I know she finds them a little odd, but she's never tried to stop me or anything. They're just one of my eccentricities. Everyone has at least a couple, right? It was a little after 1 a.m. when I went to my car. Our street was dead silent. I like it when it's quiet like that. It feels so strangely peaceful, like I'm the only person in the world. There's not another soul in sight out there, and almost no other sounds. I got into my car, queued up a podcast, and pulled out onto the street. There was a bit of mist illuminated by the streetlights. I remember thinking it was kind of pretty, and added to the atmosphere of the liminal space that my street had become. And I liked it. When I drove through it, the mist swirled past my windshield and accompanied me through the quiet streets as I made for the back roads. The back roads are dark, quiet, and lonely at night. You don't often see other cars, and that's the way I like it. Occasionally, there's the odd hyper-masculine lunatic in a pickup truck who decides that going 10 or 20 over the speed limit isn't enough. So, after blinding you from behind with their headlights, they rocket past you, usually without signaling, and disappear into the night. I only saw one of those tonight, on the way out of town. I wonder if he ran into the same trouble I did. Would it be wrong for me to say that I kind of hope he did? Yeah, it would be wrong. I drove one of my usual routes, a highway that took me through one of the small local towns in my area. There's lots of them. More than I could possibly list. My plan was to do a circuit once I hit a larger city. It would be roughly a 2-hour drive, but I'd come out of it feeling refreshed. I just passed the main drag of that small town when I hit an empty stretch of road. It was dark, save for the odd streetlight, and there was nothing on either side of me but farmland, and the occasional patch of forest. I didn't drive too fast. This is deer country, after all. I've seen enough carcasses on the side of the road to know to be careful. I've been lucky enough to never see a deer in front of my car, but if I ever do, I'd like to be as careful as possible. I must have been about 45 minutes to an hour out when I noticed that I hadn't seen any road signs in a while. Like I said, this was one of my usual routes, so I had certain landmarks that I recognized as I passed them. Usually they were signs noting what small township I just entered. Most of them had interesting names, but some of them were kind of silly. I hadn't seen a sign in a while, though. Come to think of it, I couldn't clearly remember the last sign I passed. I didn't think too much of it. The road I was on runs straight, with very few side roads coming off of it. Most of them are little dirt roads that I'd prefer not to drive on at night. I took a look at my car's clock to check the time, and saw that the numbers were all scrambled. Now that was kind of odd. I'd never seen that happen before. I wondered if there was something wrong with my battery or if my stereo was crapping out. I couldn't see the time on the dashboard either. Those readings were weird too. My engine temp had gone down to 0. My speedometer seemed to twitch more, and my gas gauge kept moving back and forth in the weirdest way. What the hell was this? Some sort of glitch? Maybe it would be smarter to turn back, just in case there was something wrong with my car. I pulled over to the side of the road and parked, waiting to see if the issues would sort themselves out. There was a lonely streetlight just ahead of me, but I couldn't get a good look at the landscape around me. I assumed it was just farmland, but it was too dark to tell if there were any houses nearby. I checked my phone. The signal was spotty. Even if I wanted to call for a tow or something, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to. I tried to open up the internet to look at my issues, with dubious success. My connection was spotty as hell, which was weird. I'd never had problems out this way before. I was fucking with my phone when I noticed movement out of the corner of my eye, straight ahead in the direction of the streetlight. I looked up just in time to see the shape of someone in the darkness ahead of me. Then, as soon as I noticed them, I couldn't help but stare. Who the hell in their right mind would be walking along a road like this at night? It was pitch black. They would have been easy to miss. They could have gotten themselves killed. It was around then that I noticed they were heading towards my car, and I wondered for a moment if maybe they'd run into the same issues I had. Shit, maybe they were looking for a ride. My car was still running. I'd never really picked up a hitchhiker before, but they were having problems too. It seemed like the right thing to do. I rolled down my window, which also glitched out a bit. I had to fight to get it down, and called out to the stranger. Hello? They didn't respond. They just kept getting closer and closer. For a moment, I wondered if it was even a person, and not a deer I'd somehow mistaken for a person. It was around then that they stepped into the light, and, well, it didn't make figuring out just what they were any easier. It looked like a man, in the absolute vaguest sense of the word. Man might not be the correct word to use here. It looked more like a plastic action figure or something that had been partially melted and then allowed to cool down again. Or some kid's attempt to draw a person come to life. The face was... Jesus. That thing's face just looked warped and contorted. The skin was orange and the eyes were shiny and beady. The mouth just sort of hung open in a perpetual dopey grin. It looked like it was naked, although I couldn't really see any signs of human anatomy on this thing. The body looked just as melted as the face, with drooping folds hanging down. It seemed to shuffle forwards with an unnatural stiffness that was uncomfortable to watch. Staring at this absurd thing, all I could do was blink in disbelief. The melted man came to a stop beneath the streetlight and stared back at me. Then he raised one hand with 6 fingers of varying length, and he waved at me. I swear I saw his stupid grin growing wider as he did. That was when I lost it. Look, what I just described may not sound all that creepy, but tell me what you'd do if some weird melt man shambled towards you from the side of the road. I threw the car in drive and got the hell out of there. As I left that thing behind, I saw it in my rearview mirror. It had turned around to face me, and it was still waving. The sight of it sent a chill through me. I tore down the darkened road until the meltman was gone. Then I tried to make sense of just what the fuck it was that I'd seen. That wasn't a person, right? There's no way in hell it could have been a person. No person could look like that. Maybe it was a suit of some kind. Yeah, that's it. It had to be. It was a suit or something. Some asshole was probably just chilling out in a lame monster suit and trying to spook whoever was coming by. Good prank. Very funny. I'd probably be on YouTube or something now. I was almost starting to laugh it off when I noticed another streetlight up ahead. The exact same streetlight, on the same side of the road, and beneath it, the exact same thing, raising a hand to wave at me again. I felt my blood run cold. No, this wasn't possible. I caught myself just staring at it as I drove, half in disbelief, half in terror. I almost veered off the road. I only barely managed to correct myself in time. The melted man just kept watching me, hand raised in greeting the whole time. Again, he disappeared into my rearview mirror, his eyes still focused on me. My heart was pounding. There was no way in hell they'd put two assholes in bad costumes along this stretch of highway. If they did, that took some dedication. And why hadn't I passed any road signs? What the fuck was wrong with my car? Everything was still on the fritz. This didn't make any sense. Up ahead, I noticed the glimmer of another vehicle at the side of the road. Light mist swirled around it, and I caught myself slowing down slightly, wondering if maybe it was someone else caught in this same hellish situation that I was. There were no lights on. No sign that the car was even occupied. Was it abandoned? Who the hell would leave an abandoned car on the side of the road? As I got closer, I got something of an answer. The driver's side door was missing. It looked as if it had been ripped clean off. The car sat forgotten, like an empty shell, and the sight of it made me feel a little bit sick. I rolled past the empty car, staring at it. It looked like a newer model. Not brand new, but new enough. I never thought to get the license plate. Maybe if I did, I could give somebody some closure. No, I just kept driving, feeling my pulse racing faster than before. I gripped the steering wheel tight. Ahead, I could see another car at the side of the road. A different one. I had to veer into the next lane to avoid it. Passing by, I saw this one had a shattered windshield, and I couldn't help but imagine the screaming occupant being dragged out. There were more cars ahead of me. More than I could count. But it wasn't until I saw that goddamn streetlight again, with the same melted figure waiting for me beneath it, that I thought to turn around. With my heart racing, I pulled a hasty three-point turn that nearly took me off the road. The melted man just kept waving at me as I did so, smiling his dopey smile the whole time. Even when I sped back the way I came, he just waved. Why wouldn't he wave? He probably knew it was only a matter of time until we saw each other again. He'd be waiting for me under the next streetlight. Or the same streetlight. Hard to say. I didn't remember seeing so many abandoned cars at the side of the road, going back the way I came. There was one every couple of kilometers. All of them with doors torn off or the windshield smashed. Sometimes both. All of them were empty and forgotten. Some were even starting to rust. God only knew how long they'd been there for. I kept driving. I kept driving for as long as I could. Sometimes I'd see a streetlight with the melted man beneath it, waving jovially at me. I just drove past him and tried not to look at him. I drove back for a hell of a lot longer than an hour, but the sky didn't get any brighter. I kept passing vacant cars, and it was never the same car twice. Each one was different. Some of them didn't even look like makes and models I'd seen in Canada before. Some of them looked old, as if they'd been sitting there for decades. Every now and then I'd see a streetlight, and he would be under it, waving at me like nothing was wrong. I ran out of gas about a half hour ago. My gas gauge is flipping between empty and half empty. The car won't move anymore. The engine just turns over if I try to start it. I can't keep moving. I'm not sure if it would matter even if I could. It feels like I've been out here for hours. Maybe it's been days. I'm getting tired of running. There's a streetlight ahead of me. There was nothing there before, although I looked up while I was writing this and I saw him. He was waving. Still wearing that fucking dopey grin of his. I just looked up again. He's closer than he was before. He's probably just teasing me, having as much fun as he can before he pries open my car like the rest. I've considered trying to make a run for it, but I don't know about my chances. I've got a feeling it won't save me. I don't think there's any way out at this point. He's getting closer to the car. I've got a bit of signal. I've tried calling someone, but I can't seem to get it to go through. I'm going to try posting this. Maybe it will manage to get out there. I hope it does. I really, really hope it does. Maybe it'll save someone else's life. God, I'm going to die here, aren't I? Oh, God. Brooke, I'm sorry. I love you. Hey everybody. Hope you enjoyed today's first of 2 stories. I want to take a quick second to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. It really helps the channel grow and reach more new people. I was checking recently and saw that around half the people who watch the channel aren't yet subscribed, so I hope you'll take a quick second to hit that button if you haven't yet. Alright, now on to our next story. Sitting alone in my apartment, I heard a noise. A loud bang from the back room, I thought. I went to investigate and didn't see anything. Then I heard it again. Whap. It was coming from inside the closet, I realized. It sounded as if someone was throwing something at the door from the inside. I opened it and 2 spherical rocks fell out. Weird, I thought. Another rock suddenly came through, out of nowhere, and hit me in the balls. Ow! I screamed. Hello? My closet said. I was in so much pain that my stomach hurt, but I managed to gurgle back something. Is there someone in my closet? The voice asked. I realized it sounded like a recorded version of myself, but it was saying what I was about to say instead of what I had just said. What do you mean, your closet? My closet's the one throwing rocks at me. I must be losing it, I thought to myself. But again, the closet answered back. I thought I was going crazy, it said. Nope, this is definitely fucked up. That is 100% for sure. A thought occurred to me. What does it look like where you are? It's beautiful. Warm, sandy beaches and palm trees, cold beers and lounge chairs. The sun is on my back and I'm living the good life over here. This is insane. I can't believe I'm talking to a door. I was thinking the same thing, except it sucked balls where I was currently. It was raining and had been for days. My entire vacation was ruined, and I was back to work the next day, after having sat inside my entire week off with nothing to do. It's pretty nice here, too. I lied. What's it like? He pressed. Not too hot lately. A little chilly, I guess. We've been getting a lot of rain, but it's bound to clear up today. Let me ask you something. I tried to change the topic. What do you look like? I asked the voice inside my closet. Tall, tan, brown hair, brown eyes, medium build, I don't know. What do you look like? He asked. The same. I wonder, are you me and I'm you? Just in different worlds? It feels right, doesn't it? Felt right to me, anyways. I think that might be right, he said. You sure do sound like me. Hey, I have a crazy idea, I said. Why don't we switch for a day? 2 even. Can you tell I really didn't want to go back to work? I don't know. It's really nice over here. He thought about it for a moment. Okay, reach your hand through and I'll tell you if I can see it, the voice from the closet said. I did, and I felt something grab me. Okay, I should be honest here now. I grabbed him and pulled him through. Poor bastard had no idea what he was in for. I jumped through at the same time, and our bodies changed positions. I entered his rainy world, and he went through to my sunny one, leaving his phone here. This story, half-typed. A log of his impossible experience. I might as well finish it. It's the least I can do. Now that we've switched places, he surely realized that he actually had it pretty good. My world was warm, all right. Too warm. The sun blazed in the sky. Too hot to stand in its direct heat, turning the grass to dust and the crops to cinders. Lots of sandy beaches, but the water is toxic waste made of black sludge now. The palm trees are long gone. The beers and lounge chairs used to exist before the economic crash left us with nothing but the bare essentials. And many of those could no longer be found either. I heard him screaming when he came through that portal, when he saw what was there on the other side, in my world. The hungry faces all around. My family. He really shouldn't have been so trusting, though. It's his own fault. I heard him screaming over there as he was stabbed and stabbed by their long knives, torn apart by their long teeth. He was devoured by them. It's not their fault. I mean, they're not monsters. They're just so hungry. It's been a while now, and I can sense their silent impatience from the other side while I sit here typing. I ordered a pizza. That's for me. The delivery driver, they can keep. I'll just show him the doorway. There's plenty of us waiting to come through on the other side. We just need someone else. Another to take our place. To balance the scales. We learned that the hard way. And people from this world are so eager, so willing to give up what's theirs. There's a knock on the door. Should I answer? You never can tell who's waiting on the other side. Become a channel member today for early access, bonus videos, and special emojis only available to members. Check out the description below or click the join button for more info. If you'd like another way to help support the channel, please consider joining my Patreon page at patreon.com/JordanGroupeHorror. As a patron, you'll get access to bonus videos and content. You'll be credited at the end of every video going forward, and if you decide to stay for 3 months, I'll name a character after you which will be featured in a Hollow's End story. Links to join the Patreon are in the description. Thanks everyone for listening. Please like, subscribe, and comment to help the channel continue to grow, and see you again next time at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you have a great night.